Welcome back. All right, yep, we're in the wild for this one. 8 games tonight in the National Hockey League and a lot of comebacks. Tonight was the night of comebacks. We've started seeing that again, and again, we can get into the discussion of why all the comebacks happen and everything. It just feels like once the momentum swings, it can swing dramatically, and so we'll start off with one of those big dramatic swings with the LA Kings in against the Columbus Blue Jackets. Swings, Kings kind of rhymes. I apologize. I apologize to everybody. If you choose not to watch the rest of this video, I understand. Copley versus Merzlikins and the Cylon helmets being worn by the Kings is where those fantastic thirds, and thankfully I have magnets that suit and match. Lots of early whistles. Kings press are kept to the outside. Lewis has a turnover chance. That saved. Columbus scores, or so they thought, but it only hit the post, so it did not go in. Shots are 3-0 for LA at 6.5 minutes. They did a welcome back video for Gavrikov. Nice touch there. Power play for Columbus. There's an early clear, but then at 9:07, Marchenko scores the power play marker. Boquist and Gaudreau with the assists. Things get pushed down a hole by Elvis. Kings press with 7 minutes left. Werenski then has a chance. That's held. Roy fires one wide as the Kings press. There's a power play for the Kings. That's killed off. It's 1-0 Columbus after one. Second period. Teams exchange rush chances. Things get pushy again on a hold by Elvis. A lot of pushing around going on. Jiricek has a 2-on-1 chance. That's saved. Columbus scores, but it's kicked in, so that goal doesn't count. So one came off the board because it didn't go in, and the other one, well, kicked in. Shots are 5-3 for LA at 5 minutes. But at 5:23, on a rush chance, on a turnover, Johnny Gaudreau scores to make it 2-0. Top far corner. So Columbus is ahead. Columbus then looks for another. We get a power play for the Kings, though. Early clear by Columbus. They do kill that off. Shots are 8 apiece with 8.5 minutes left. Corrali has a rush chance. That's held. Gaudreau has a 2-on-1 shot. That's saved. And then Olivier. It's a 5-hole from in close. He scores from Jiricek and Fantilli at 13:03. Jackets press with 5 minutes left. Dubois has a shot that's held as a Kings press. There's a press by the Kings with 2 minutes left. It's 3-0 Columbus after 2 periods. So this one's done. You can go ahead and go do something else. 23 seconds into the third, Dano deflects into point shot. Roy and Moore with the assists. So it was a cycle. Point shot deflects in. Suddenly it's 3-1. Kings press at 2 minutes. Eventually they get another one. Dano gets a second of the period. Buries a loose puck on the line. Gavrikov and Fiala with the assists at 5:09. So Elvis thought he had it. He didn't. Columbus calls a timeout. The riot act is read to the Columbus Blue Jackets. It does not work. At 6:38, Kaliev scores from Anderson, Dolan, and Gavrikov, and then the Kings look for the lead. Fiala has a wraparound chance. That saved. The Kings press with 3.5 minutes left, but the game goes to overtime. In the overtime, Kings control early, and Columbus never touched the puck. Doughty from Kopitar and Kempe at 33 seconds. It's a one-timer. That is 10 straight road wins to start the season for LA. That's almost to the point of having another video about the LA Kings. But they're 15-4-3. The Columbus Blue Jackets 8-14-5. And with these combined scores here and these revelations, the Kings are now number 1 on the power rankings. So it's a Tuesday night. You don't know what's going to happen on Saturday, but as of tonight, Kings are number 1. Shots on net, 9 apiece in the first, 14-13 LA in the second, 15-7 LA in the third. They got the only shot of overtime. That's all they needed. Final shots, 39-29 for the Kings. Power plays, LA 0-2, Columbus 1-1. Hits, 15-13 Columbus. Copley saves 26 out of 29. Merzlikins, 35 saves on 39 shots. So, moving along, and the New York Rangers, the former number 1 on the power rankings, they could be back there by Saturday, absolutely. Wouldn't be the first time that's happened. Well, for the Rangers it might be, but I've had where a team drops and then goes right back up. Shesterkin versus Forsberg in this one. Early Sanderson blast is held. The shots are 2-1 Rangers, 4.5 minutes. So it looked like it was going to be a defensive night. It wasn't. Norris has a wrist shot that's held. The Rangers press at 6 minutes. We get a power play for the Sens. They set up late. It's killed off without a shot on net for Ottawa. Zub has a shot that saved as the Sens press, and then Tkachuk tips one in. Zub with his next opportunity. He gets the primary assist. Giroux with the other assist at 11 minutes. So suddenly it's 1-0 for Ottawa. Kings press. Kaliev misses an open net. That belonged over there. So there you go. I wrote the note on the wrong game. I heartily apologize to all Kings fans everywhere. That belonged over there. All right. Shots are 6-4 for the Rangers with 7.5 minutes left. I normally catch that. It's not the first time I've done it. You normally catch that before I get to the review process. So there you go. It's a blooper right in the middle of a video. So Sens draw another power play. Batherson has a shot deflect wide. Chychrun had a screenshot that's held. There's a shorthanded rush by VC that's saved. That power play is killed off. A puck to the face on Gaudreau. He exits for repairs. It was brutal. I believe it was a Keandre Miller shot. And it was about 15 feet out, and just it hit him flush. So hopefully he's okay. Giroux would end up making it 2-0 at 18:34 from Bernard Docker and Norris. With 15.8 seconds left, the Rangers get a power play. So that rolls over into the second period, and they score on it. It's Panarin, Fox, and Zibanejad with the assists at 39 seconds. It was a screenshot. It was a good cycle. Panarin with a goal. Makes it 2-1 for Ottawa. Giroux has a rush chance, that saved. Joseph, net drive, that saved as well. The shots on net are 3 apiece at 4.5 minutes. At 5:13 on a turnover, Ottawa scores again. It's Tarasenko from Batherson on that rush, but the Rangers get it back right away. Cross-crease pass and buried. Keandre Miller from Lafreniere and Panarin at 5:35. Tkachuk's denied on a fast break, and then Batherson buries a rebound on a rush. Tarasenko with the assist at 7:18. So just a reversal of the goal that was scored a little less than 2 minutes earlier, or a little more than 2 minutes earlier, and suddenly Ottawa's got his 2-goal lead back. Rangers look to answer. Chychrun prevents a New York Rangers goal. Things get punchy on a hold by Forsberg. Stützle fires one wide from the slot. And then at 17:43, Brady Tkachuk buries one from the side of the net. So this is another game where he has 2 goals. He's only had a 1-goal game once all season. So it's buried from the side of the net. Zub and Brandstrom with the assists. With 41 seconds left, the Rangers go to the power play. So that rolls over into the third period. The Sens finish the kill. There were 3 shots for the Rangers during that. Rangers go back to the power play. They get 1 minute and 25 seconds of 5-on-3, and the Ottawa Senators kill it off. And that, to me, is the game. Like, the Rangers are deadly on 5-on-3s, and the Sens survive it and kill it off. Power play for Ottawa, that's killed off as well. Panarin has a net feed that's picked off. The goalie pull happens with 4 minutes left because, well, you have to get a bunch of goals here. Tarasenko hits the empty net from Batherson at 17:10, so they combine for the third time tonight. And your final score is 6-2 for the Ottawa Senators. They even the record at 10-10. For the Rangers, they're 18-5-1 now with the loss. Shots on net, 10 apiece in the first, 16-15 Rangers in the second, 11-9 Ottawa in the third, 36-35 Ottawa overall. Power plays 1-for-4 for the Rangers, 0-for-3 for Ottawa. Hits 16-14 for the Rangers. Shesterkin saves 30 out of 35. Forsberg saves 33 out of 35. So you see with that Kings note that's in there, it kind of proves that I definitely have I definitely have an ability to read notes and not necessarily. So I would read a teleprompter and might get myself in trouble. There's a movie about an anchorman that it's similar. It's a very similar thing. All right, moving along. Detroit and Buffalo. So that I did a Buffalo video. I tried because I tried to turn it around. It's almost as if my videos have no power. Lyon versus Comrie. Comrie came into this one with 4 regulation losses in a row. I don't know what Buffalo's going to do here, but for Detroit, it worked out pretty well. Good forechecking by Detroit. The shots are 3-1 in their favor, 2.5 minutes in. And Larkin on a one-timer from the slot. He scores. Raymond with the assist at 3 minutes and 40 seconds. The shots are 6-1 for Detroit at 5.5 minutes. Sabres press at 6.5 minutes. The Wings block, though, and Fabry would score. He's been red hot since returning from injury. Kopp and Perron with the assists at 8:25. It's 2-0 for Detroit. Cousins is denied from the inner slot. I will say I thought Cousins tonight might have had his best game of the season, but again, it doesn't end up being a victorious one. Shots are 7-2 for Detroit with 8 minutes left. So Rosen is normally how we would say it. Is it Roseanne? Roseanne is the way they were pronouncing it tonight. So I'll say Roseanne. Or Rosine. It's there was a couple of different pronunciations I heard from the announcers, so I'll go with Roseanne. But yeah, he's denied. The Sabres end up with a power play on that, though. Thompson's denied. The rebound's cleared. Benson has a chance that's held. That power play's killed off. Sabres press after it ends. Lyon holds on. 2:37 left. There's a power play for Buffalo. That's killed off as well. So after the first period of play, it's 2-0 in favor of Detroit. Second period, early jump for the Sabres. They get some pressure 2 minutes in. The Wings, though, draw a power play, and they score on it. It's Moritz Seider from Fabry and DeBrincat at 5:43, and it was from the slot on a good cycle. Shots are 2 apiece 7 minutes in. We get a power play for Detroit. That's killed off. Kopp has a chance that he fires high from the slot, And then Rasmussen, on a fast break, he scores to make it 4-0. Gostisbehere and Petrie with the assists at 13:55. The next time Comrie saved a puck, the Bronx cheer went up, and it just... It has to be tough when you're having a rough night as a goaltender and the fans start getting on you, and they're your fans that are getting on you for that. Sabres press, the Wings block, they clear. Sprong is poke-checked when he was in alone, so Comrie comes out and poke-checks him there. 107 left, the Sabres with a power play, and they score on it. Darlene from Thompson and Cousins at 18:57. So the Wings press for an answer. They don't get that, but it's 4-1 after 2. Third period, early jump for Buffalo. Larkin's then denied on a fast break. We get a power play for the Wings. Comfort's denied. That's killed off. Shots are 5-3 for the Wings at 6 minutes. Roseanne then has a rush chance. That's held. Middlestad then buries one. It was a great pass from Skinner. Peterka with the other assist at 8 minutes and 20 seconds. So 3 guys combined there that you want to see combine if you're a fan of the team, and that gets them to within 4-2. Get a power play for the Sabres, and Skinner scores at 11:37 to make it a 4-3 game. But with 1:53 left, the Sabres get a power play, or 1:51 left, the Sabres get a power play, so they pull the goalie to make it 6-on-4, and it is your shorthanded empty net goal. Larkin at 19:14 hits the net from the other end. And so the final score is 5-3 for Detroit. They go to 14-7-3 with the win. Buffalo drops to 10-14-2. So rough night for Buffalo. And again, now they're 4 games below NHL 500. Shots on net, 11-9 Buffalo in the first, 12-7 Detroit in the second, 14-6 Buffalo in the third. Final shots 32-27 for Buffalo. Power plays, Detroit 1 for 4, Buffalo 2 for 5. Both teams had 13 hits in the third period, or 13 hits overall. Lyon saves 29 out of 32. Another good night for Lyon. And Comrie saves 22 out of 26 at the other end. So, entertaining game. All right. Last one on this board, San Jose and the Islanders. I don't know what happened here, but I know coming out of the power rankings there were people saying, I don't know why the Islanders are so low. Well, they only won 10 out of 23 games coming into this one. So, it's hard to bump a team up the board when they're not really winning games. So, yes, they're getting points. Yes, the Islanders are getting enough points to keep themselves, at or above playoff line, but it's not a winning formula because it's not winning. So, Kakkonen versus Sorokin, this may end up being a game that maybe we talk about how the Islanders rallied after this one, right? So early Cizikas net drive, that saved. Horvat can't bury one in close. The shots are 3-0 for the Islanders at 3 minutes. Isles press at 5 minutes. They pressed so well I put 2 S's on Isles. No idea why that happens. Power play for the Sharks. Old man, I guess. Short-handed rush by Cizikas. That power play's killed off. Romanov has a shot that's blocked and cleared. And then Gauthier buries one high glove side. Holmstrom and Horvat with the assists at 9:28. But San Jose gets it back. It's a one-timer from the slot. It's Hurdle from Duclair and Zetterlund at 12:19. So all of a sudden it's a tie game. San Jose's been tough lately. There's a mask save on Holmstrom. It's cleared. The Islanders press in the final minute, but it's 1-1 after 1. Second period. Early press by San Jose, the Islanders block. They get pinned down for a while. Shots are 3-0 San Jose 2.5 minutes in, so this is one of those wake-up calls if you're the Islanders, right? Power play for the Islanders. There's a short-handed chance for Hurdle. He's denied on a 2-on-1, and then Nelson wires it far side on what was the first shot of the period by the Islanders. It's a power play goal from Dobson and Horvat at 5:21. The Sharks look to answer. Press by the Sharks at 8.5 minutes. Holmstrom had a rush chance. That's defended. Isles press with 8 minutes left. Lee has a chance on a rush. That's blocked. The Sharks press in the final minute, but after 2, it's 2-1 for the Islanders. Third period. Power play for the Sharks. And then the Sharks guilty of an icing on the power play, and after that, on a rush chance of his own, Riley scores from Holmstrom shorthanded at 5:17. So it's 3-1. And then the Islanders finish the kill. So when you finish the kill like that and you get the shorthanded goal, you've probably got the game. Power play for the Islanders. It becomes a 5-on-3. Nelson's denied, Kakkonen holds, and then Pulock scores from Riley and Pajot at 8:27 on the power play. So it's a one-timer. It was a good cycle, and eventually the Islanders get it. They're up 4-1. They're at home. 8:27 into the third period. This one's it's done, right? Nope. The Islanders press for another, but at 11:55, LeBanc scores from Mahotchik. So here's where, that red flag has to go up. Basically, look out. This San Jose can do this. There's no pressure for the Sharks. I think this is part of what we're seeing, too. There's no pressure on the Sharks. They don't have to worry about standings and playoffs. They just go out there and have fun. Goalie pull happens with 3:30 left, and hey, Hurdle scores. Buries a loose puck from Granlund and Eklund at 16:49, and then he enjoyed that so much he gets the hat trick goal at 18:30 from Eklund and Barabanov, also with the goalie pulled. So suddenly we're going to overtime, and what got me was Islander fans were booing when it was 4-3. So when it was 4-3 for the Islanders, they were booing. I think they knew what was coming. In the overtime, the Islanders win the faceoff, but they turn it over, and they turn it over again, and they just get sloppy with the puck. And eventually, it ends up in their net at 4:55. It's Eklund from Granlund on a rush, and the fans that were unhappy when the team was ahead 4-3, also quite upset when the team loses it in overtime 5-4. San Jose goes to 7-17-2, so they're pegging off enough wins now that all the talk of them having the worst record in history is gone. Although I still say this is not a great team. They're just playing very well as a team right now. The Islanders 10-7-7 with the overtime loss. Shots on net 15-7 Islanders in the first, 13-11 San Jose in the second, 14-11 San Jose in the third, 3-2 San Jose in the overtime. Final shots 39-37 for the Islanders. Power plays, San Jose 0-2, the Islanders 2-3. So 5-on-5, they only scored 2 goals tonight. Hits 16-12 Islanders. Kakinen saves 35 out of 39. Sorokin saved 32 out of 37. Not very Sorokin-like numbers. And now I need to change boards. All right, so Nashville and Chicago. This game had all the scoring pretty much just concentrated in like a 10-minute period of the second period. It's weird. So Saros versus Soderblom in this one. The shots are 2-1 Nashville, 3 minutes in. Post for Donato on a 2-on-1. The Hawks press at 5.5 minutes. Jones with a near miss, and then he gets the helper, Foligno, with the goal from Jones at 5:57. It just kind of goes through Saros as well, so it's 1-0 Chicago. Jones then has a shot that's kicked aside as they seek more. Gutman's denied and close. The puck's cleared. The shots are actually 10-6 for Nashville with 5.5 minutes left. The Predators press with 2.5 minutes left, but it's 1-0 Chicago after 1. Second period. Kurashev is denied on a 2-on-1, and then at 2 minutes and 11 seconds, Evangelista scores from Barry and Parsonen. He buries his own rebound there. So 1-1. And then 26 seconds later at 2:37 is Jankowski from Sissons. Makes it 2-1, but then Chicago gets it back. It's a one-timer from Dickinson. Foligno and Vlasic with the assists at 3:08. And then Chicago gets the lead back at 5:21. It's Foligno from Joey Anderson and Seth Jones. We get a power play for Chicago. That's killed off. Then we get a power play for the Nashville Predators, and they score on it. It's O'Reilly from Forsberg and Yossi at 12:59. He backhands a rebound into the net. So suddenly we're back in a 3-3 tie. And all I could think was this game could go like 7-6, 8-7. It doesn't. McCarron with a near miss on a turnover. 3:43 left. Nashville gets a power play. That's killed off. Kurashev has a shot that's blocked as the Hawks press. But it's 3-3 after 2. Third period, Beauvillier steals one from Saros. They didn't end up getting a goal there, but it was interesting. The shots are 3-0 for Chicago, 4 minutes in. Hawks press at 6.5 minutes. Gutman's denied on a rush. They're pressed by Nashville. They're kept to the outside. Tomasino has a shot kicked aside. There's a press by Nashville with 6 minutes left. We get a power play for Chicago. That's killed off. We're going overtime. Preds control early. The Hawks steal and set up. Bedard's denied. The Preds rush. Nyquist fires one high on a rush. And there was an arm save on Bedard on a rush. So we go to the shootout. In the shootout, Connor Bedard, for the record, did score in his first ever shootout attempt, but Nashville didn't miss the net on all 3 of their shot attempts. Nyquist, O'Reilly, and Forsberg all get goals. Nashville wins it in the shootout 4-3. They go above 500 at 13-12. For Chicago, they're 7-16-1 with the shootout loss. Shots on net, 10-6 Nashville in the first, 14-11 Nashville in the second, 9-5 Chicago in the third, 2-1 Chicago in the overtime. Final shots, 30-28 Nashville. Power plays, Nashville 1-2, Chicago 0-2. Hits, 19-9 for Nashville. Saros saves 25 out of 28. Soderblom saves 27 out of 30. So entertaining game, and for Chicago, they do get the point. But Bedard doesn't actually record a point in tonight's game. But still, they get a point out of it. All right, next up. Minnesota and Calgary. So I'm wearing Minnesota. I was wearing Calgary for the preview. But this game in the second period, we got to get to the second period. But first, we got to go through the first. Gustafsson versus, that's just how numbers work. Gustafsson versus Vladar, early press by the Wild. There's a post for Foligno. The Wild press some more. But it wasn't a post for Foligno. The puck was in. So it's Foligno from Boldy at 123. That's the only shot on net for Minnesota up until 3.5 minutes. Calgary also had a single shot to that point. Maroon gets denied on a turnover. Brodin has a chance that's held. The Wild with some momentum. There's a blocker save on Mangiapane. The shots are 6-3 for Minnesota with 9.5 minutes left. Power play for Calgary. Vladar bails himself out. Like, he passed a puck off to the wrong person and then bails himself out by making a save. But we end up with 4-on-4 for 1 minute and 30 seconds. Everything gets killed off. It's 1-0 Minnesota after 1. Second period, at 45 seconds, Kaprizov, who's really heating up under John Hines. Rossi and Zuccarello with the assists. And then at 1 minute and 30 seconds, Matt Boldy scores. So Boldy's been doing well lately too. That ends the night for Vladar as it's now 3-0 for Minnesota early in the second period. And in comes Wolf. We had a fight between Foligno and Greer as the Flames are trying to get fired up here. Flames throwing some hits as well to try to turn the game around. Pressed by Calgary at 5.5 minutes. Eventually, Backlund scores to get them on the board. Weegar and Anderson with the assists at 6:51. We get a power play for the Wild. Eriksson X denied. Wolf holds on there. Power play is killed off. Weegar fires one wide as the Flames have some pressure. We get another power play for the Wild, and they score on this one. And it's Boldy with his second goal of the game. Kaprizov and Spurgeon at 13:57. It was a good cycle, and he tips it in. We get a delayed game call. The Flames with a power play. Minnesota kills that off. They allow one shot. Flames press in the final minute, but after 2 periods of play, this game is 4-1 in favor of Minnesota. A very quiet crowd in Calgary. It would get loud in the third period. So Eriksson Ek has a shot that's held in at 1:36. Zari has a backhanded shot that tips, well, he tips in the backhand by Solovyov. That's the first point for Solovyov in his NHL career. And Kadri with the other assists. So Zari continues to put up some goals here. And that really got the fans into it. Then there's a power play for Calgary. That's killed off. But the shots are 9-1 for the Flames at 6.5 minutes. And it's the night of the comeback, right? We already saw 2 comebacks on the first board. So here we go. Is it Calgary's turn? And there was some belief that maybe they could. But the second shot, Minnesota had one in. It was Eriksson Ek from Johansson, I should say, at 6:49. Goes through kind of a bit of a yard sale in that one of Calgary's own players was colliding with his goaltender, so not much chance for Wolf there. That makes it 5-2, and it completely took the air out of both the Flames on the ice as well as the fans in the stands. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4 as things get kind of chippy in the third. Flames press with 5 minutes left, but you never got the feeling they were going to score another 3 goals in that third period. Minnesota with an impressive win. Next up, they're going to Vancouver. Minnesota's now 9-10-4 with their 4th win in a row under John Hines. For Calgary, they dropped to 10-12-3 with their, I believe, second straight loss. Shots on net, 13-5 Minnesota in the first, 12-10 Minnesota in the second, 15-4 Calgary in the third. Final shots, 30-29 for the Flames. Power plays, Minnesota 1 for 3. Calgary 0 for 3. The hits, 20-13 Calgary. Gustafsson saves 28 out of 30. Vladar saves 13 out of 16. Wolf saved 11 out of 13 in relief. I wouldn't put this on the goaltenders, though. It was an off night for the Flames, and it was a big night for Minnesota. I think both Minnesota played well and Calgary did not. So both things can be true. All right, next up, Anaheim and Colorado. So the Ducks, after beating Colorado in their last matchup, not as likely tonight, not in Colorado. So Gibson versus Georgiev, and on their first shot, McDermott scores from McKinnon at 1 minute and 40 seconds. Avs press at 4.5 minutes. The shots are 3-2 for the Avalanche at 6 minutes. Gudas has a shot that saved. The rebound's cleared. The Avs press 8 minutes in. Lacombe has a wraparound that saved. McKinnon with a one-timer. That's McKinnon with a one-timer that's saved and cleared. Power play for the Avs. That's killed off. O'Connor has a one-timer that's held. It's 1-0 Colorado after the second period. Shots are 2 apiece, 3.5 minutes in. Tatar couldn't bury one on a 2-on-1 rush. Avs are getting odd man rushes at this stage. They're just not able to convert them. Post for MIN-CGY on a rush. The Avs press with 8.5 minutes left. Things get punchy after Jones hits Byram. Now, it was a clean hit, but I absolutely agree with the Avs making sure they stand up for Byram because he's had concussions. He is vulnerable to having more concussions because of his history. So, yeah, when you see a hit, it should be something where you go over and say, hey, it was a clean hit, but still. They did review it to see if it was going to be a 5-minute penalty. They gave no penalty on the play to Max Jones because it was a clean hit. But was it a rough hit? Yeah, it was a pretty heavy hit. But again, for Byram, it's part and parcel of playing the game in the NHL. That power play's killed off, though. No shots for Anaheim. So it doesn't attract any momentum for them. It doesn't do much to help them in this. Ducks press with 4.5 minutes left. Johansson fires one high from the slot at 17:43. McKinnon scores from Drouin and Manson. And then the Avs look for another. So after 2 periods of play, it's 2-0 for Colorado. Third period, good Avs forechecking early on. There's a shoulder save on Jack Johnson. The shots on net are 2-1 for the Ducks, so 3 minutes in. Toe save on a Taves rush, and then the puck just eludes Gibson, ends up being tapped in. O'Connor from McKinnon and Drouin at 6:21. So McKinnon had a big game, Drouin with a couple of helpers. It's 3-0 Colorado. So the Ducks press at 8 minutes. We get a power play for Colorado, but Carrick scores shorthanded at 10:43. And then the Ducks finish the kill, so now they're down by 2. And then we get a 5-on-3 for the full 2 minutes as McDermott goes to the box for two different... at any rate, you don't want to be giving a team a full 2 minutes of 5-on-3, and that's what McDermott did. So Carlson scores during the 5-on-3. Leo Carlson, all he does is score goals. Terry and Fowler with the assists at 14-11. Suddenly we're looking at a potential for another 3-goal comeback tonight. But at 3:09 left, after the Avs had killed off the 5-on-4, too many Ducks on the ice. So it gives the Avs full 2 minutes of a power play. Now the Ducks do kill that off, but now you're down to only a minute left. They pull the goalie. They cannot get it tied. So your final score is 3-2. The Avs go to 16-7-2 with the win. Anaheim 10-15 with the loss. They've now lost 9 of their last 10. Shots on net, 12-9 Anaheim in the first, 12-7 for the Avs in the second, 14-9 Anaheim in the third. Final shots, 33-30 for Anaheim. Power plays, Anaheim 1 for 3, Colorado 0 for 3. The hits, 14-13 Colorado. Gibson saves 28 out of 31. Georgiev saved 31 out of 33. Strong performance from Georgiev. He needed that, I think. It's been a rough go of it lately for Georgiev, so maybe he's back on track. All right, and last game of the night, the bonkers game that almost saw another 3-goal comeback victory. So it's Vanacek versus Demko. Mikheyev has a turnover shot that saved. There was a post for Cole on a face-off win, but New Jersey would open the scoring. It's Bratt, 5-hole on a 2-on-1 rush. Heischer and Siegenthaler with the assists at 3:39. We then get a power play for the Canucks, and they score on it. Miller from Besser and Pettersson at 8:24. So that ties the game, and thankfully I have all the Canuck magnets for when they wear the skate jersey. Plus, not even aware that it was First Nations Heritage Night. At the time that I set up the board, I had the logo up here. So I'm gonna go ahead and show this to everybody in case you haven't seen it. This is the one that was designed after Gino Odjick's passing. I think it's fantastic. I want to see that on the front of a Canucks jersey soon. I want to see that. And not just like for a specialty, but like as an alternate, as a fourth jersey. Just keep the skate and have that one as a fourth. Anyways, so the game's tied on the Miller goal. McLeod, he went to get a stick during that power play, so it was technically a 5-on-3, and it threw everybody off. I am sure that for the players on the ice, they're like, where's he going? Because seriously, when you're without a stick, I understand that you need a stick to penalty kill, but you throw off the whole penalty kill when you do that. So Joshua nearly adds one, and then the puck goes the other way, and it goes in the net. At 9:51, it's Howla from Jack Hughes. He roofs that one in close. So it was Hughes to Palooza, Hugheskovich to Palooza, Hughes night. It was Hughes night. Anyways, so Jack Hughes has a rush chance that's saved. Canucks go back to the power play, that's killed off. Canucks press with 4.5 minutes left, but on a face-off win, Jack Hughes goes to the net and tips one in. Ball with the assist at 17:04, so that makes it 3-1. And then at 18 minutes and 40 seconds, McLeod makes up for the mistake he made. He scores from Bastian and Lazar to make it 4-1. It kind of pinballs in. That was only the 8th shot on net, and it was the 4th goal. Now, to their credit, Vancouver answers before the period's out. It's Dakota Joshua from Garland and Bluger at 19:41. He buries a rebound at the net, but it's 4-2 for New Jersey after the first. And I was already looking at this and going, I'm going to run out of room on this board, and I very nearly did. Second period, the shots are 2-0 for New Jersey 3 minutes in. They had a good start to that period. Kuzmenko fires one wide on a turnover. Kuzmenko's definitely having his struggles with the puck. Bluger has a net drive that's saved. Hronik had a blast that was held. There's a press by the Devils halfway through the period. Canucks then, they get some pressure with 8 minutes left. Power play for the Devils. There's a near miss by Jack Hughes. That's as close as they get. That's killed off. Power play for Vancouver. Miller ends up hitting the post. That's killed off as well. Marino is denied on a break out of the box. And Joshua goes to the penalty box in the final minute of the period. It does not take long. It takes roughly 15 seconds. Luke Hughes from Jack Hughes at 19:26. And it's 5-2 after the second period in favor of New Jersey. Third period, power play for the Canucks. It's killed off. Howlow is then denied out of the box. You got to watch the guy coming out of the box. Meyer has a shot that's held, but then good forechecking leads to a goal at 7:02. Besser from Miller. So Brock Besser with his 18th goal of the season. He still leads the NHL in that category. Shots are 6-3 for the Devils with 9.5 minutes left. He sure has a chance. It's held as the Devils press. And then tipped in, it was a screenshot to Lafferty from Hughes and Pettersson at 13:58. So it's a 1-goal deficit until Höglander makes it a 5-5 tie. Hughes and Besser with the assists at 16:34. He buries a rebound, and I'm thinking, okay, if I have to put a 4 on this board and write down all the overtime, I'm going to have to use the tiny board. But New Jersey didn't want me to have to do that. Bratt scores from Ball and Palat at 19:27 to end the hopes of Canuck fans everywhere. He buries one in close. He was just wide open, and it's a 6-5 win for New Jersey. They go to 12-10-1 with the win. Vancouver drops to 16-9-1. They're 6-7 over their last 13 games. Shots on net, 13-9 Vancouver in the first, 10-7 New Jersey in the second. Both teams had 13 shots in the third. Final shots, 33-32 for the Canucks. Power plays, New Jersey 1 for 2, Vancouver 1 for 4. Hits, 33-24 for Vancouver. It was a heavy hitting game. Vanacek saved 28 out of 33, and then Demko saved 26 out of 32. So it was a rough night for the goalies. Great night for entertainment value, though. And the Hughes brothers, they all got on the board, and I've seen a bunch of people posting about how much money they won tonight with their gambling. I don't gamble, so I didn't bet anything. So I didn't lose anything either, so there you go. Let me know your thoughts regarding any of these games in the comment section below, as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you've not done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.